Hi, I'm Judy Litt. I want to welcome you to my channel. If you're new to it, the channel is Go With Yin Yoga. We'll play on Go With the Yin, which is what Yin Yoga helps you to do. I don't think I've ever really introduced myself, so I'm going to do that really quickly just now. On this channel, you are going to see a lot of Yin Yoga. Big surprise. You are also going to see more and more restorative yoga. People get very confused about that. I have a vlog somewhere on the differences between Yin Yoga and restorative yoga. They can be very similar, but their purposes are very different. And it's just something I've been getting into more the end of 2021. No, by the way, if you celebrated holidays, I hope you had really happy holidays. So I'm Judy Litt. I forget what I'm going to say sometimes, even though I often have it on a whiteboard in front of me. And I laugh, and I hope you laugh at me too, or maybe with me. Okay, so you're going to see Yin Yoga here. You're going to see restorative yoga. You're going to see some Hatha yoga. Tends to be kind of gentle. You will not see power yoga here. So if you're looking for that, well, I'm not going to say move on, because the things that I share with you are great complements to power yoga. You will also see some Kundalini-inspired practices and meditations. And you will also see a lot of practices aimed at runners, because I am a runner. I've been running for, I don't know, 15 years maybe. I ran my first half marathon roughly 10 years ago. And not immediately after that, but after I ran a couple more, I decided I wanted to try and run a half marathon in every state. I got through about 20 states, and then some family problems and COVID, and I haven't run a half marathon or any race really in the last 3 years. But I did become a level 1 Road Runners of America coach this year. I took the course anyway, just sort of for my own knowledge, so I know a little bit about running. Let's leave it at that. So there are a lot of practices here that are great for runners, and they last from an hour to a couple minutes. What else do you need to know about me? I have been practicing yoga a very long time. I couldn't tell you exactly when I started. I would say at the very least 20 years, perhaps longer. I've been teaching roughly 2 years, so that makes me a pretty new teacher. So happy that I did my teacher training. Yoga has gotten me through some very stressful times in my life in the last few years. And these are all things that I want to share with you, because many of these practices come about from my own practice. I do something and I'm like, okay, I want to share that. I want to educate you. I want you to take this exercise from that practice and this exercise and that practice and put them together in a way that feels right to you. What else did I want to say? I'm a big believer in bringing a beginner mind to yoga, whether you've been practicing for years, whether you've been a teacher for years or not. There is always a way to go deeper into poses, deeper into your yoga practice, deeper into your mind and your emotions and your feelings. Okay, enough about me. Let's move on to the subject of this vlog, and that is the top 10 videos from 2021. I'm so excited to share the list with you. There's a few surprises on it, to me anyway. No big surprise. More than half of the practices are Yin Yoga practices. We'll see if that changes as I begin to go more and more into restorative practices as well. And there are no meditations on this list, which makes me so sad. I hope that at least one meditation gets on the list for 2022. I think meditations are really important. Okay, I won't dwell on that. So we're going to start with number 10 and work our way all the way up to number 1. And number 10 is happy feet. A lot of people are looking to keep their feet happy. I have a 5-minute practice. It is for everyone. You do not have to be a runner. And stay tuned because I've been working on something that will be somewhat similar, probably a little longer. We'll see. I also want to say all of these practices will be linked up below in the description box. You click the little down arrow and there's a big description. If you're viewing this on a TV, you can't get at that, and you can't comment and you can't like, which is very sad. Okay, moving on. Number 9. This made me so happy that it made the list because I was so excited to share this with you, and it didn't really take off in the beginning. It is a full body yin yoga practice. It's going to stretch your whole posterior chain. And I weave in quotes from Hamilton throughout the entire practice. I did not love Hamilton when I first heard the music, but the very first time I saw the movie that was made from the play, oh my goodness, I fell, and I fell hard, and I've been obsessed with it ever since. So many of these quotes are still so relevant today, so I hope you'll check that one out. Number 8 is a short, for yin, 35-minute throat chakra practice. And this is going to help you release tension in your neck, your shoulders, open up your throat and your heart. And there are also affirmations we've woven throughout this entire practice. It will help you to communicate clearly and also to listen deeply, because that is part of your throat chakra. Number 7 was a surprise to me also. I did a short demo of Breath of Fire, Kapalabhati breath. And that is number 7 on my top 10. I do a short demo of what that is, and then we practice for 1 minute. Just 1 minute. And I want you, if you haven't done this one already and you choose to do it, notice how your energy changes after you've done Breath of Fire. Don't do Breath of Fire, by the way, if you have a heart condition, if you're pregnant, if you have uncontrolled high blood pressure, perhaps if you're on your period. And I have about 5 other in a series, once again, 1-minute practices to help you energize. And they are great, and I think far too few people have looked at those. Number 6 is another yin yoga practice, surprise, surprise, but it gets into your upper body. And yin yoga is really mostly aimed at your legs and your back, the whole posterior chain. We don't get into our upper body a heck of a lot. And it also examines the niyama saucha, which is cleanliness. And so I ask you to think about decluttering and purifying and things like that. Number 5 was the very first practice in my Balance Plus Core series. It was a series over 4 weeks, beginning relatively easy. You do have to be able to get down onto the mat on all fours, but otherwise it's a very beginner-friendly practice, and it will still work your balance and your core for sure. And I also ask you to think about where you need more balance in life, and that's something I think about a whole lot. Number 4 is a very short yin yoga practice, only 10 minutes, and it's a sleep deeply practice. It's a great practice to do before you go to bed. Again, I weave affirmations between the poses. I think there's roughly 3 poses in that practice. It's going to help you calm down and de-stress and put aside your day and sleep, get a better night's sleep. Number 3 is a pre-run yin yoga practice. You do not have to be a runner to do this. It's going to help strengthen your hips, your hamstrings, and your calves. Calves are a big one for me. And hamstrings too, actually. Probably for most everybody these days. Number 2, a lower leg yin practice. This one's going to get into your calves, your hamstrings, and your feet. And I share many, many different variations in these poses. Never ever make anybody, teacher, student, whatever, make you feel less than because you need to use a prop or you need to do a different variation because of your particular body. It is a-okay. In fact, I totally encourage it, and I absolutely use my blocks and I use straps. They are all great things to do. They will help to keep you injury-free. And drum roll, please, we are at number 1, and this was a big surprise to me. It was my moon salutations practice. I'm already thinking, I've been thinking for a while, it's about time. There's never ever one practice. This is the way to do it. There's always different ways to do things. And I've been thinking that I should do another moon salutation practice. So moon salutations, you may have heard of sun salutations. Sun salutations are things that people do a lot when they're warming up to warm up their body, to get some energy flowing. Moon salutations are cooling. They're relaxing. They're a good thing to do during a full moon, and they are a good thing to do before you go to bed. They're very beginner friendly, and this particular practice, you also do not, it's totally standing. You do not have to get down and up from the mat. So that was kind of surprising to me that that was my number 1 video in 2021. So if you're new here, thank you for checking me out. If you've been around a while, thank you for watching my videos and practicing with me. I look forward to sharing a lot more in 2022. I am hoping to share some kind of a series in the spring. I've already named it. It's called Spring into Action. But, life tends to get in the way sometimes, and there's been a lot of family issues for me in 2021. They're going to be ongoing in 2022. So I really hope that I can get this for you in the spring. So just a little tease, something to look forward to. So again, thank you for joining me today. I hope that you heard some new practices that sound exciting to you. Check them out. If you like this video, go ahead and click the like button. And if you want to know when I add new videos, which is generally Sundays at 8 a.m., sometimes I sneak one in midweek, go ahead and click the subscribe button. I also have a link in the description box again to my newsletter. It goes out every week. It tells you what new videos have been added to the channel. I have a very short little talk with you, and I offer you an affirmation. Have a great 2022. Thank you so much for joining me.